It is the 20th of March. Now, kind of hard to believe that a few days ago we were talking about it being 5 years since some of the COVID lockdowns began. It also means that today we are marking 5 years since a significant change in welfare payments came into effect as a result of what was happening in the Australian economy and obviously globally because of COVID-19. Let's find out how that's spurring some welfare groups to action today. Fiona Moore is from Dora Creek, receives a disability support pension and is an advocate with the Nobody Deserves Poverty campaign. She's in Canberra today. Let's find out why. Fiona, hello to you.
Hi there, Paul. How are you going?
I'm very well. What are you doing today?
So this morning, a group of anti-poverty advocates, unemployment advocates are gathering at Parliament House to have a press conference and a little get-together to mark the 5 years since Scott Morrison lifted so many out of poverty by raising the rate of income support by $5.50 a fortnight, so $2.75 a week extra in job seekers' pockets.
So obviously that was during the pandemic. Obviously there was a huge economic downturn. There was concerns about people making ends meet at the time. Obviously that perhaps concern for many on those payments hasn't gone away. What did that do at that time 5 years ago?
So at that time, the payment rates for people on job seeker, youth allowance, and some other payments as well, went to the poverty line, and which meant that a lot of people were able to finally get the basics of life, so able to go out or order in, being COVID, fresh fruit and vegetables, attend the doctor's appointments and get the medications they needed, all those sorts of things. Life was just better for people despite everything else that was going on.
So obviously that payment was incrementally pared back. We now have what I believe is an annual indexation of Centrelink. What's the call for today?
So at the moment, the indexation is also coming in today, and that's going to be 0.4% in line with 6-monthly inflation, which obviously has gone down a lot, but leaves us without any increase. So we're asking for all payments, including job seeker, but also the pensions, age pension, disability pension, carers pension, youth allowance, all of them, I can't name them all, to be up at the poverty line, above the poverty line preferably, and governments can choose to do that. They can choose to lift people out of poverty, and Labor could do it next week in the budget if they wanted to, if they were brave enough to, and the others can all promise it for the upcoming election if they want.
Obviously, there would be many that would make the argument that that would be a huge impost on the Australian budget. Why should other taxpayers bear that cost?
Yeah, honestly, it is an amount of money, but it's more significant for the people receiving it than for the overall budget. And there were numbers coming out last week, even if you're going to make that argument, saying that every dollar you give to welfare recipients brings back $1.24 into the economy. So, we give them back. We spend what we get. We don't save it. We don't have enough to save it. So it's going back in.
Obviously, there's also many that would suggest that, look, welfare payments as they are designed to sort of help you through for a period of time, but ultimately the great encouragement should be to get a job, and that's, the line we hear from politicians often, the best form of welfare is a job. What do you say to that argument that if you're concerned about those welfare payments, it's better to get employed?
Well, a number of people, so with some of the stuff I've seen through the Australian Unemployed Workers Union, who advocate for a lot of people, then a lot of people were able to go out and get work during that time because they had the supports they needed. They were able to look after themselves, able to go buy that new pair of shoes so they could impress at the job interview. They got the necessities of life met so they could go out and further themselves and when they were wanting to and when they were able to, and pursue their interests and get a job if that was what was the best thing for them.
And so what will be that sort of argument being made today? What sort of the message that you're hearing from the other people involved in this press conference that will happen today in Canberra?
We're obviously in favour of just the government knows that they can do it if they want to. If they want to raise people out of poverty, they can. They're choosing not to. Obviously, the whole system needs a review looking at the rates of payments and accessibility and all those sorts of things. But the first thing to do would be to lift everyone up above the poverty line, and then we can all do well from there. And Yeah.
Fiona, we've heard no shortage of welfare groups and social services talking about that there's sort of the growing group of what people might refer to as the working poor. You've got people that are in full-time jobs, even double incomes that are struggling to make ends meet and get food on the table for themselves and their children. So just how much harder can it be for people that are relying on these welfare payments?
Well, obviously, you're not competitive in the rental market to start with. If you don't have income that's like, double income, no kids, the most preferable person to put into a rental. So you're just way down low on the list. Also, things like just being able to go out and get your own things and that sort of stuff. The other thing is, if you do raise welfare payments, it does boost everyone from the bottom up. So it is good. The union should see it as good as well, because you have a better safety net. Conditions have got to be better for workers to be employed in, and it just goes up from there.
Fiona, really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Fiona Moore from Dora Creek receives a disability support pension, is an advocate with the Nobody Deserves Poverty campaign. Nobody Deserves Poverty is the name of it. She's in Canberra today, as you're hearing, for a press conference with a number of welfare groups that have come in from all over Australia to advocate for a higher than just an indexation increase to many payments that come from Centrelink. What do you think about that idea? 0487 99 12 33. We're, of course, just 5 days away from a federal budget.